Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. I waited a few days to do this. George Carlin's been dead for a while. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. Say a few words about George Carlin. You know, I did a few of these like cheesy, self-serving interviews where I went on like Katie Couric and Entertainment Tonight, or one of those things, I don't know, Inside Edition or something, and talked about George Carlin. And I always worry that people are going to hear that and think that I was like buddies with George Carlin. Because when Kurt Cobain, when Andy Warhol died, you know, all these people that didn't know him gave all these testimonials about what a great guy he was. And, you know, Debbie Harry, who was probably Andy's best friend, didn't say a word. And when Kurt Cobain died, you know, everybody was talking about it. And Bobcat Goldthwait, who was probably Kurt's best friend, never said a word. So in following that tradition, I didn't know George that well, and I was doing these interviews, and I was crying, and that wasn't phony. He was so important, and the weird thing is I never expected him to die. I mean, I expect Keith Richards to die, you know. I expected Johnny Carson to die. I didn't expect George Carlin to die, because when I first started listening to comedy albums, I was first watching TV, even before the Hippy Dippy Weatherman, the Indian Sergeant, my mom and dad and I would watch it. And the timing was perfect. He did this, you know, goofy takeoffs and put-ons album, which I just am getting ripped right now because I couldn't find it digitally. I'm getting ripped from vinyl. And I memorized that whole album when I was a kid. And my parents and I loved him. And then just as I got to be the exact right age, he dropped out for a bit and then came back with long hair and a beard, and came back in a different person I wanted to be. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like goofy, you know, and then he came back serious and smart, and he built on Lenny Bruce, and he was always there when I first met him. And I remember my heart pounding, and he was so important to a young atheist. He was an out-of-the-closet atheist. Although in fairness to George, last few times I talked to him, he was talking about a higher power when he had gone to Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't want to be one of those people who co-ops someone after, I better move that, after their, co-op somebody after they're dead and changes. You know, like those people who say, you know, George Carlin's now in heaven because he was a good person. That's repulsive. That's horrible. And people like me who have a little bit of information that he was thinking about a higher power and then talk about him being a great atheist, that's also disingenuous. I don't know his exact religious beliefs when he died, but I know that there are times in his life when his atheism was very important to me. And he was also a conscience to us and a conscience to everybody. As Teller said last night, you know, we would never have done the flag burning in our show if not for George Carlin. And he was always there. We made the movie The Aristocrats. You know, I had to call him, and I remember George Carlin. To explain the idea to him, we want to get comedians riffing over the same changes the way jazz musicians riff, you know, or over the same joke the way jazz musicians riff over the same changes. He understood it like that. And he said to me, I was on the phone with him, and I was right next to Carnegie Hall, talking to him in LA. And Prevens was standing next to me, and he said, you know, Penn, this is too good an idea for you to get. You're not smart enough to get this idea. And then he said, but you're the one that got it, so we have to go with this. And then he said, just don't fuck it up. And then he gave me some advice on not fucking it up, not to take any money from anyone till the final cut was done, and then not change it. So it actually would show comedy the way we saw it, not the way HBO saw it. And some other little piece of advice on who to call and so on, and just said, don't fuck it up. And he first saw the movie at a screening in Vegas. And he came up to me after the movie, and he stuck out his hand, shook my hand, and said, you didn't fuck it up. And it was probably the best compliment I ever got in my life. It just made my heart soar. And I just can't believe George Carlin isn't around anymore. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker.